Hello! Welcome to our webinar, Getting Ready for Focus on Second. Joining you for this informational webinar are members of the team who designed and wrote Focus on Second. Teresa Vilcapoma, Jeremy Walters, Faye Ferenczi, and me, Melissa Tonishell.
Today's webinar will run for approximately 20 minutes. You can start and pause the session at any time. We will be answering questions live through a Padlet until 6 p.m. You receive this link in an email. And after the webinar concludes, any questions you have can be sent via email to Melissa Tonishell. So our goal for this webinar is to give you some information so you can anticipate what Focus on Second and curriculum support will look like and some ideas about things to think about over the summer. We will talk generally about the entire curriculum, but draw on a few examples from Unit 1. How is Focus on Second designed? The idea is to combine best practices, current research, and input from different stakeholders in Boston Public Schools to create an educational experience tailored to the needs of Boston Public Schools second graders. The curriculum is designed with the essentials for instructional equity in mind. Both students and teachers have regular opportunities to demonstrate their growing competencies in these 4 areas.
Focus on Second includes 4 units of study. In the first unit, we explore experiences in and ideas about school. Children first look at themselves as learners and explore what their classroom community needs to be inclusive of all learners. Then, we learn about the school experiences of children around the world before coming back to Boston. What are the parts of Focus on Second? Focus on Second includes project-based learning through literacy, science, and social studies. Learning throughout each unit builds to a multidimensional, culminating project. For example, in Unit 1, after considering themselves as learners in schools around the world, children will receive a letter from Superintendent Tommy Chang asking, "What does your school need to make it a wonderful place for all learners?" Using Build BPS and information learned from school community members, children will respond with a suggestion for their own school. Each unit is 8 weeks long, with each week organized around a weekly question. While children are investigating these questions, they will consider ideas close to home, in their classroom and community, then further away to places around the world, and coming back finally to focus on Boston. These last 3 weeks of the unit, while children are focusing on Boston, is when they engage in a culminating project. For example, this is a letter written by second graders from the Kenny School, arguing to Dr. Chang for a multi-use space to be added to their building.
In Unit 2, we learn about the forces of wind and water and their effects on landforms. We look at areas locally and around the world that have been affected by these forces, exploring how the land has been impacted and how human communities are formed and impacted. We consider solutions for preventing and slowing erosion and discuss the degree to which humans should intervene with nature. For the culminating project of Unit 2, children test different approaches for slowing and preventing erosion at Thompson Island. They then choose the most effective approach and communicate it to other second graders using various media. Here is an example from children at the Ellison Parks Early Education School. In Unit 3, we explore the various identities of people in communities around the world. We also think about immigration and who we are collectively as Bostonians. What do people contribute to the Boston community and other communities they belong to? For the culminating project for Unit 3, Our Neighborhood, children curate an exhibit that represents the identity of their school neighborhood community. One part of this exhibit includes biographies that they write about school community members. These examples show work from the children at the Curtis Guild Elementary School. In Unit 4, we learn about pollination and the role of pollinators. We consider how pollinators are threatened, why that matters, and what we can do about it.
Here are the components of Focus on Second. This graphic illustrates that all of the components are connected and that experiences with text are at the center of the curriculum. Here are the read aloud books for Unit 1, carefully chosen with teacher input and with the intention of representing and affirming many different kinds of learners. In addition, children will interact with other kinds of text. A conversation among children about how they learn individually and in groups, the UN Declaration of the Rights of the Child, including the right to education, primary source photographs, and the Build BPS website. Each text is revisited multiple times and used for conceptual development, vocabulary, connections, and questions to foster ongoing exploration.
These weekly questions will help guide the conversation for each week. Our hope is that the weekly question will serve as a starting point and that the teacher will extend these discussions according to student interest. The questions are linked to each other and each builds upon prior understanding and toward the big ideas of the unit. Text Talk. Each day the class will gather to consider the big ideas and guiding questions of the unit by digging deeply into text, whether a read aloud, photograph, video, or other resource. These conversations serve to build shared understandings about the content. Midway through Unit 1, we read Armando in the Blue Tarp School, a based on real-life story about children who live and learn in and around the dumps in Tijuana, Mexico. Then we see a photograph of children who live in the very place this story is situated, as they travel back from school to their home at the dump. Text Talks emphasize both narrative and informational text while giving children opportunities to talk deeply using various routines and write about what they read. Studios. We identify 5 studios. Small group time when children reflect and build on ideas found in text, using developing vocabulary and explore various media. In Unit 1, children represent their ideas and continue learning about school, perhaps drawing or painting in the art studio, building a school structure in the building studio, thinking about materials used to build schools in the discovery studio or science area, looking at books and interviewing in the research studio or library area, and writing and drawing about their experiences in school in the writing and storytelling studio. Writing. Writing in Focus on Second is grounded in the systemic functional linguistics theory. Throughout the year, students become experts in writing in various genres. Before writing independently, children spend time in the whole group deconstructing mentor texts and jointly constructing text. Children write about the content they are exploring during the unit. For example, in Unit 1, children write personal recounts about experiences in school.
Vocabulary. Focus on Second is designed to create classrooms filled with rich language. Through the different components of the day, students will have opportunities for exposure to, practice with, and mastery of new vocabulary. Science. Focus on Second includes explicit science instruction developed in collaboration with the science department. Science happens 2 times a week for 30 minutes, as well as in the Discovery Studio. During Units 2 and 4, scientific content is built through other components as well.
Stations. While teachers are providing small group instruction, stations provide opportunities for students to develop a variety of skills through work with their peers. Listening and speaking is designed to provide additional receptive and productive academic language practice as students listen to audio recordings of class text and respond to text-based questions. Word work activities aligned with foundations help students develop their code-based literacy skills. The reading station is an opportunity to engage in self-guided reading either alone or with peers. The vocabulary station gives students additional time to deepen their understandings of the most important words of a given week. While we provide a library of resources and materials, teachers make decisions about what kinds of learning experiences will best support their particular children. And that's how it all fits together. Based on the week and the topic, you may find that more of your planning time is going to a certain component of the day, but it will be important to keep an eye on the connections between each part. These emphases and connections change based on the themes discussed and the texts explored.
Assessment for learning. All lessons include suggestions for ongoing assessment based on observing children and analyzing their work. Focus on Second includes assessments at the end of each unit. For the 2018-2019 school year, these assessments are designed to replace Grade 2 ELA interims. Each of these assessments will take approximately 45 minutes to complete and will feature questions related to the standards addressed in the unit.
What do I do now to get ready to teach Focus on Second? There are some things that you can do right now to prepare. Teaching and learning may be different next year, and therefore may require different spaces. Take a look around your room now while it is still set up, and consider the walls and the classroom space. Here are some suggestions. Also, you can go to the Curriculum and Resources Focus on Second folder on the Google Drive to review the FAQ and find the PD dates to add to your calendar. Implementation and support. Teachers meet at centralized PD sessions to share strategies, struggles, and successes. Here, teachers develop background knowledge about, look at, and plan for an upcoming unit with the children in their own classrooms in mind.
What do I do this summer to get ready to teach Focus on Second? Review the pilot version of the Focus on Second curriculum. We will share resources, including this pilot version, with you through the Curriculum and Resources Focus on Second folder on the Google Drive. Know that we'll be making small revisions to the pilot version this summer. You can also look for opportunities to build your own knowledge about the topics of study. Peruse Build BPS. As you consider adding new resources to your classroom, think about the Focus on Second themes. Consider alternative classroom setup and differing furniture needs. Attend the teacher training sessions on August 20th to 22nd. Collect beautiful stuff. What is beautiful stuff? Beautiful stuff is found in recycled materials that can be used in a variety of ways. Set up a bag or box in your home and begin looking at everyday objects for the possibilities they offer as expressive materials. Pieces of ribbon or twine, buttons, pine cones, plastic bottle caps, tops from dried up markers, tissue paper, fabric scraps. We'll share a list of suggestions. You might also want to begin collecting containers for these kinds of materials, such as jars, trays, and clear plastic salad boxes.
What's next? Let's run through this calendar. This month, try to have at least one conversation with your team about what you are excited about, worried about, and planning for as you launch Focus on Second in September. Over the summer, you might begin your collection of beautiful stuff and containers to sort materials into. As you get ready for TSI in August, take a look at the introductory documents and Unit 1 of the curriculum and at the Build BPS report to start thinking about the shape of Unit 1. Training in the curriculum happens at the Teacher Summer Institute, or TSI, on August 20th through 22nd. We're awaiting dates for foundations training for those of you who need it. In September, your curriculum coach will contact you to set up how and when you will work together over the school year. We'll also meet all together again for the 4th full day of training. The 5th day of training happens for a full day in October. We'll look closely at Unit 2 then. And we'll preview Units 3 and 4 with half-day sessions in January and March. You'll choose an identical morning or afternoon session so that your whole team does not have to be out of the classroom all at once on those days. Finally, throughout the year, we will invite you and teachers who have been piloting the curriculum this year to host PD sessions in your classrooms on various topics the group identifies. That way, you'll get inside of each other's classrooms to see work on the walls, exchange ideas, and get inspired by each other. And we'll be there to support the conversation and strategy building. More information on how that will happen exactly will come in the fall. Thank you for spending some time with us today to peek at this curriculum while you're finishing up your current school year. Again, please don't hesitate to reach out to us with any questions, and expect a few emails from me as important information surfaces. We're excited about sharing this curriculum and working with you to create wonderful learning experiences for second graders in Boston Public Schools.